Go. We're gonna hit the start streaming button on YouTube. That's what we're doing right now. Today's live stream is all about how gaming creators become superstars. What's going on, everybody? Andrew Wall here, and I'm here to teach you guys a little bit about how gaming creators maybe start small, they start growing, and then they become cultural phenomenon. And as you guys can see from the thumbnail, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm definitely going to be referring to Ninja, but we're not just going to talk about Ninja today. We're also going to talk about some other mega creators out there. And I want to talk about the elements that are making them successful and that have kind of propelled them into this level of insane popularity and insane cultural relevance. And I want to talk about art as big of a factor as a lot of people think. And the whole point of talking about this is A, to cover a really cool news story. This news story right here, I put it in the thumbnail. This is a credit to ESPN, the magazine. I've got a link in my description. Go check out ESPN, the magazine, that has featured Ninja on the cover of ESPN, the magazine. And here's the actual tweet itself. And this is remarkable. This is not just some, this is not just a Twitch streamer. This is not just some random person. This is a content creator on the cover of ESPN, the magazine, being recognized with the likes of, some of the top athletes in the entire world. And the reaction from the sports community has been mixed, right? And so that's why here in my tweet I say that many sports fans see a competitive gamer on the cover of ESPN, the magazine, and are shocked that they would see that there. And the thing is, when you see somebody like this and you see a gamer on the cover of the magazine, it disrupts everything that you think about what is relevant and what is competitive and what is sports. And I understand why people are kind of rejecting the idea that Ninja should be on the cover here. Because if we scroll down in the comments here, it's incredibly interesting. You see the same arguments that you've always seen for when you see esports emerging into the mainstream. And you see things like sports athlete, he sits at his computer and pisses into water bottles, this guy says. This is the top comment here on this thread. And people are arguing, oh, well, he makes money, so he's relevant, etc., etc. And it's the same tired argument of people not understanding that competitive gamers and esports is something that's truly emerging, is truly big, and is basically disrupting regular sports or traditional sports in a few ways, and these two worlds are kind of coming together. And so I thought that this was an incredibly interesting story to talk about with you guys because this is something that impacts not only the gaming community but also the creator community. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how mega celebrities such as Ninja emerge and what sort of trends are happening on the internet and how they actually ride those trends to become in that super famous and super relevant status that they've achieved, so that you can learn from that in your own content creation as you're growing your own stream, your own YouTube channel, etc. Cool? Does that sound good? Let's go. That's right, games are not sports. They've already have a name. It's called esports. That's right, Invictus. You're absolutely right. And I think that a lot of people, when they see somebody like Ninja on the cover of ESPN, they're like, oh, well, are you trying to say that he's a major athlete and he's a sports? And I don't think anybody in the gaming community or creator community or esports community would say that Ninja is playing sports. Nobody here thinks that. Nobody here thinks that this is sports, that this is a sports guy. And even the cover of the magazine itself says that he's the biggest gamer. All right, but esports does cross into the world of sports in that it is competitive, and in that personalities like Ninja or Tyler Blevins are so relevant on social media that they actually are more relevant than major sports personalities like LeBron James. And so this website, Hookit, I don't want to bore you with numbers, but I think that it is incredibly interesting to see that somebody like Tyler Blevins in the esports category is more relevant than Conor McGregor in mixed martial arts, massive football players in the world. These are like some of the top most famous athletes in the entire world, and even more relevant on social media than somebody like LeBron James. Significantly more relevant than LeBron James on social media. And so Does that make him more legitimate as a sports player or as a competitor? No. It just is showing why an organization like ESPN the magazine would want to put somebody like Tyler Blevins on the cover of their magazine, because Tyler Blevins is such a massive cultural phenomenon. He's actually more of a cultural phenomenon than the majority of traditional athletes that we consider to be, mega athletes and incredibly popular. So how did this happen? Well, there are a number of documentaries out there on Ninja in particular that could give you the whole story of how Ninja got to where he is. But I want to focus on the part that is useful for you guys to take away and is useful for you to understand in your journey. Hey, Ralia, good to see you. Blue Angels Gaming, it's great to see you as well. And anybody else in chat, go ahead and speak up. Feel free to speak up. But I want to talk about the attributes of somebody like Ninja. We're also going to talk about PewDiePie and what they have done over time and what trends they have rode over time and the strategies that they've implemented over time that have gotten them to that place of superstardom that you guys can learn from, that you guys can implement into your channels and your strategy so that you can become successful. Sure, you may not be God tier like Ninja is at Fortnite. It may not ever be possible for you to be the esports caliber player that somebody like Ninja is. That's fine. But what Ninja has done over time is he's continually put himself in a position where he can capitalize on new trends in upcoming games. And he started in the Halo scene originally, and he was a pretty successful Halo esports player. And he jumped from Halo game to Halo game, and he jumped from team to team to be competitive and to chase his dream of being a competitive gamer. But once the Halo scene was kind of cooling off for him, he realized that what his strengths were, and he realized that streaming was something that was going to be extremely lucrative for him. And so he started streaming games like H1Z1 on his channel, and he continually experimented with new content along the way. And the reason why I'm showing him playing Call of Duty Black Ops here, he did this recently. He's not only playing Fortnite right now, he's experimenting with other games as they come out as well, like Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And the point of this is, I tell you guys creators across all genres, gaming, etc., it doesn't matter, be sure to keep that 80% core and do that 20% more. So the 80% core for Ninja is his Fortnite content. But that extra 20% of the time, he's experimenting with new games. He's always constantly testing the boundaries of what is relevant. He's testing what can work for him. He's testing what can expand his audience. And that 80-20 experimentation that he's doing, the 80% Fortnite, 20% other content, is a winning, successful formula for him. And so for him, this Fortnite content, obviously Fortnite is going to be his bread and butter for a long time. We know that. For Ninja, Fortnite is going to be his bread and butter for a long time. Why? Because he's bringing incredible value through Fortnite content, where he is literally one of the best players in the entire world. But what really matters is that he can carry that best value into his experimentational content down here with his 20% experimentation. And so, for example, in this example, he can do Call of Duty Blackout, right? And so, because he's so incredible at first-person shooter games, those skills can carry into other games, and it can allow him to test the market for other titles. So Fortnite, we know, will be culturally relevant, arguably probably for the next 5 to 8 to 10 years. So we know that we can say 5 years safely. But with games like Fortnite, if we look at games similar to it historically, like World of Warcraft and Grand Theft Auto and League of Legends, these are games that have 5 to up to 15-year timelines in terms of being relevant on the internet. So I think it's safe to say that for Ninja, his 80% in his content slate will probably stay Fortnite. But this 20% experimental will give him the opportunity to find out whether there's something that could be even bigger for him than Fortnite in the future. So Call of Duty Blackout is one of those things. Now, he wasn't always doing 80% Fortnite. When he was live streaming in the first place, he did H1Z1, and then he ended up doing PUBG, And then he started experimenting with Fortnite. And so the point of this is to say that the 80-20 rule I'm constantly telling you guys about to experiment on your content, this is something that the superstars are constantly using. They're using the 80-20 rule, and the 80-20 rule is helping them discover that big thing that's going to blow them up. And in this case, Ninja discovered that it was Fortnite at the end of the day. He had played game after game after game. He had grinded years after years after years, and he'd become pretty successful doing things like H1Z1, etc. But once he discovered Fortnite, that is what actually blew up his channel. Obviously, you guys aren't learning anything mind-blowing there. But the point is, because he kept that 20% experimentation, he was able to ride Fortnite as a mega trend, and he was putting himself in a position constantly to where if something was going to blow up, he was going to be there to capitalize on that thing that's going to blow up. And so if Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is the next big thing that's going to blow up, maybe it becomes bigger than Fortnite. Ninja is experimenting to make sure he understands the game, he's a part of the game, and that if it does end up becoming bigger than Fortnite, he's positioned to where he can start playing this game and maybe become the top guy for this game as well. And so that's a really smart strategy. And so for him, Fortnite ended up being that lucky trend that he ended up jumping on board that ended up transcending everything in terms of popularity. You guys know that story. And what's really interesting in this Google Trends chart that we have right here is the red line is the NBA, the yellow line is FIFA, the green line is the NHL, and the purple line is the MLB. And Fortnite, of course, is the blue line. And as you can see, Fortnite on YouTube, which is the second largest search engine in the world and the largest video platform in the world with 2 billion people on it, Fortnite is more relevant than all of those other sports combined on YouTube times 2. So, I don't know. So should someone like Tyler Blevins, should somebody like Ninja be on the cover of ESPN the magazine if he is the top guy for something that's, more popular than every other sport in the world combined on something like YouTube? Obviously, I think he's, of course, relevant enough to have earned that spot. But the point of this whole story is that Ninja using the 80-20 rule on his channel and constantly looking at upcoming games and constantly seeing what would fit him the best and his play style the best and what he enjoys doing the best, he quit being just a pro esports player and he started streaming so that he could capitalize on his personality and the unique appeal of his content. And he kept experimenting with games until he found one that perfectly fit his play style and just gelled with how his brain works. And once he discovered Fortnite, right about here is when his channel ended up exploding in growth, his Twitch channel. And so he ended up riding that wave of popularity himself, which ended up pushing him into a position where Ninja ended up becoming, is currently one of the fastest growing YouTube channels of all time. Pretty insane, huh? Guys, if you have your questions about your channel and how to grow your channel, feel free to drop them in chat. I'm paying attention to Twitch chat, Periscope chat, Mixer chat, Facebook chat, YouTube chat. Let's freaking go. Feel free to drop your comments in there. But I thought that this was an incredibly interesting story to cover and to analyze and to look under the hood a bit more on. Because a lot of people discount Ninja's success and they say, you know what? Ninja was only popular because Drake came on his stream. So like, if Drake hadn't been on there, like he wouldn't have blown up and nobody would know about him. No, he would still be pretty much as popular as he is right now, even if Drake didn't come on his stream. Certainly, Drake coming onto his stream pushed his popularity to the mainstream and to people that were not gamers and helped him break out of the echo chamber, I guess you could say. That was the gaming universe, the gaming community, the Twitch community, etc. So like the average everyday person who watches Good Morning America and watches TV heard about Ninja after Drake was on his stream, but he still would have hundreds of thousands of people watching him on Twitch every day, even if Drake wasn't on there. Let's be honest, right? And the reason why that's the case is Drake didn't make Fortnite this culturally relevant. Drake didn't make Fortnite more popular than the NBA on YouTube. Now, obviously, the NBA and FIFA and everything spiked during playoffs and stuff, but Drake didn't make Fortnite more popular than the NHL. Drake didn't make Fortnite more popular than Major League Baseball. Drake didn't make Fortnite the thing that every kid is playing when they're out at a restaurant. Drake didn't make Fortnite dances the thing that every kid does when you walk down the street, when you go to Walmart, when you go to Target, when you go to the playground, anywhere you see young people, they're doing Fortnite dances everywhere. Drake didn't make all that happen. Fortnite is the reason why that is so culturally relevant. Epic Games creating this viral sensation of a game is the reason why this popularity occurred. And so that's why Ninja is popular, is because he rode this wave of popularity, because he was the best at this game. He brought best value to this game, and he put himself in a position to capitalize on the game. He could have just stayed playing PUBG forever. He could have just stayed playing H1Z1 forever. But he decided to use an adaptive and an experimental content strategy to where he could discover new games and new trends, and that allowed him to blow up with Fortnite along the way. And so this is an important thing for all of you guys to remember, and I constantly remind all of you that the 80-20 rule is incredibly important for everybody at every stage in their channel. You never know what your Fortnite is going to be. You never know what your Grand Theft Auto is going to be. You never know what, your next big trend is going to be, your reaction video is going to be, what it is that is going to blow your channel up. If you don't constantly experiment, you're never going to discover that yourself. And so that's something that you guys need to keep in mind from day one on your channel. If you find something that's popular, don't quadruple down on that thing that's popular and only do that thing forever. There's always something coming up in the future that you could be better at. You're never at the peak. At best, you're halfway there all the time with your channel. And somebody like Ninja, somebody incredibly competitive like that, is always thinking that way. They're always thinking, I can get better. I can get better at this game. My stream can get better. He literally says this during his streams. I can get better. My stream can get better. My overlays can get better. My interaction with the audience can get better. Everything about this can get better, 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 better. And it's a non-stop journey to his self-improvement and to getting better and better at his craft. And that's why somebody like Ninja excels and moves past the competition. It's because Twitch, as we've talked about many, many times before, Twitch is the most cutthroat social media platform or video platform there is. And it's not because people are literally slitting each other's throats on the platform. It's just because it's a ultimate hierarchy of alphas. Alphas win. The people that are better than everyone else win. The channels that are more entertaining win. The players that are, see, Ninja's live right now to 55,000 people. The players that are the best win. Whoever's better wins. Whoever has the best overlays. Whoever has the best interaction. Whoever has the best bits. Whoever's live more. Whoever has the best and is better and is best wins, wins, wins. And whoever isn't does not. And so somebody who has that competitive mindset, that kind of sports mindset, is going to succeed on a platform like this, and Ninja absolutely has that attribute. You use the 80-20 rule, and reaction videos did so well. Exactly. So let's talk about Waffello. Let's take a look, man. Waffello is one of my patrons, and he is using this 80-20 rule I'm telling you guys about right now that the top YouTubers use, and he's implementing it on his smaller channel, and it has been working really, really well for him. And so he's been using he was using the 80-20 rule by doing magic trick videos here, and then he started experimenting with a reaction video or two, and he ended up getting this reaction video here that got 104,000 views. Started getting 7K views, 16K views, 1K views, whereas his magic tricks were getting hundreds of views. These reaction videos started getting thousands of views. So this isn't just something that applies to these big channels and these big gamers and what have you. This is something that can apply to all of you guys. And more recently too, I saw that you were reacting to some of Shin Lim's final performance stuff, and you did another one down here. 51K views and 17K views. This is a relatively small YouTuber, guys, and he's using that 80-20 rule I was just telling you guys about earlier, that somebody like Ninja uses to experiment with new content and new formats, and to constantly be pushing yourself to be better, to constantly push yourself to discover the thing that you're better at or that people want to see more of constantly. The 20% experimentation is absolutely critical for that to happen. So anyway, really happy for you, Wafalo. Really great to see you doing so well with your channel. And a big thank you to everybody who has become my patron and has been donating. I really appreciate all you guys. And anybody who's interested in becoming my patron, I do offer coaching services, and I do offer advice, legendary channel reviews, one-on-ones, the whole nine. You guys can check it out. Right here, I'm linking it for you guys all in chat. If you're interested in becoming my patron, that's how I do these live streams for free every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Let me turn that off though. I don't want to have the money on the screen all the time. So let's talk about another creator who emerged to superstardom, and I always talk about PewDiePie, but PewDiePie is a different example. So we can say, well, you know what? Ninja got lucky. Ninja got to ride the wave of Fortnite into popularity, and he got lucky, right? But there are other examples of superstars that got to ride waves of trends and are constantly experimenting with different content and are using a similar strategy that you guys should be learning from. And one of those creators is PewDiePie. And the bottom line is PewDiePie, when he was blowing up and his channel was blowing up, and currently he's still doing extremely well, 126 million views per month, almost 1 million subs per month, so he's still doing great. He's one of the most prolific YouTubers. But what he ended up doing is the constant experimentation strategy I'm talking about, where he had his core when he was blowing up of him playing video games, him reacting to those video games, and him posting those reactions on YouTube. And that was revolutionary at the time. Him doing those reaction videos and these funny top moments of him reacting to stuff, these videos right here, these classic PewDiePie videos, he didn't invent it, but he popularized it. He popularized the idea of being on webcam and playing video games. People thought this was absurd. People thought it was dumb to have somebody on webcam and to show their face during the video game. They were like, just show the game. And so he was innovative and he experimented, and by showing a webcam of him reacting to these video games, he ended up starting that whole trend of there being webcams in video games, on video game footage. Now you see webcams in everything. You see me here in the corner on webcam. People used to ask the question all the time. It was one of the most common questions I got when we were starting TGN Network is, do you have to be on webcam? Should you be on webcam? Does being on webcam hurt your gaming channel? These were questions that were being asked at the time, and PewDiePie didn't care. He just hopped on webcam because because it made his videos more entertaining. And so the reason why this worked for him is he started capitalizing not just on horror games or not just on any individual game. He capitalized on gaming in general on YouTube. And he went from game to game to game to game and capitalized on all of their popularity by being the guy on webcam reacting to playing the game. And so his reaction format ended up carrying him along with gaming itself. So check it out. The blue line here on Google Trends. This is fascinating. This is fascinating. Ben Brown, what is the 80-20 rule? The 80-20 rule, really quick, just for everybody else that doesn't understand what the 80-20 rule is. Thanks for asking. It's great to see you, Ben. 80% of your content should be your high-performing content on your channel. And then 20% of your content should be always experimental content to see if you can find something that is going to do well. or can at least match or exceed your 80%. So let's say your channel is a Fortnite channel and 80% of your content on your channel, the Fortnite stuff does the best. Keep the 80% of the content on your channel as Fortnite, but reserve the other 20% to experiment with new games, new formats, new things, to see if you can continually grow your channel, okay? So that's the 80-20 rule. Cool? This is the tried and true strategy of that blows up YouTube channels. I've done it before, grown YouTube channels to over 1 million subscribers, etc. with this strategy. Cool. So here's what's fascinating about PewDiePie and his rise to superstardom. He actually grew in tandem with video games themselves becoming more popular on YouTube. So the red line, yellow line, and green line here are gaming, video games, and games overall. And then the dark blue line is PewDiePie. Check this out. As video games became popular right here and spiked, PewDiePie's channel started taking off. Games as a term on YouTube spiked right here in May 2012, and PewDiePie's channel started blowing up. This is PewDiePie becoming a major search topic. And as you can see, the red line here of gaming continually growing as PewDiePie blew up. But notice as PewDiePie's channel started to decline, gaming and video games and games started plateauing on the platform, and his channel started kind of going down in popularity. And right here between the times of March 2012, as when he peaked in August 2014, he was innovating and he was doing reaction gaming videos when nobody else was on YouTube. Or some other people were, but they weren't doing it as effectively as him. And then in August 2014, everybody started kind of catching on to this gaming trend, and so the competition increased significantly on YouTube for PewDiePie, and so his popularity started declining a little bit as a result because of the competition. Also, his popularity started declining a little bit because gaming itself wasn't increasing in popularity at the exponential rate it was prior. But the point is, the value that PewDiePie was bringing on his channel was this sort of unique value where he is reacting to video games, and that brought him unique value. That's one of those magic content values we're constantly talking about on the channel. PewDiePie is the master of unique value. I did an entire live stream about that. But also, he was fantastic at capitalizing on trends and showing you guys things that were new and trending on the channel as well. And he was doing it in an innovative format that emphasized his personality. So new and unique value ended up being PewDiePie's bread and butter. So as you can see right now, he's in this weird underwear suit playing this VR game. This is new and unique. 17 million views this video got on YouTube. So it's all about those 5 content values I'm constantly telling you guys about: new, best, unique, challenge, and learning. If you can combine any of those 5, as I'm constantly telling you, you can become massively popular like PewDiePie, playing this game in this absurd underwear and getting 17 million views, okay? So that's how he rose to superstardom. So both of these guys did something in common. Oh my God, I can't watch this anymore, it's too much. All right, Ninja is on the cover of ESPN, the magazine. PewDiePie is the most prolific creator and arguably one of the most influential internet personalities of all time, with 66 million subscribers, both for a reason. What did they both do in common? Okay, first things first. Hey Galaxy, it's good to see you. 1 million subs, no vids, good to see you. Zishan's asking if I have any sponsorship perks. Right now I have like 1 unique emote, but right now I'm encouraging people to join my Patreon. That's where all of my perks are at. You get to join my Discord, you get advice from me on how to grow your channel, you can get a legendary channel review, one-on-one coaching, etc. to help grow. But Ninja and PewDiePie grew because they did 2 things. Oops, let's go ahead and clear that out. Let's do a different pin. The 2 things that they did are, they both used the 80-20 rule for how they created content. 80% their core content and 20% experimental content to figure out what works for them. The other part is they delivered value uniquely. So PewDiePie, for example, delivered unique value, and Ninja ended up delivering, I won't even write their specific values, but PewDiePie is the king of unique value, and Ninja is the king of best value, right? He's the best at what he does. He's the best of the best. So they each capitalized on the 5 values that we're constantly talking about. How many times do I have to talk about this stuff, guys? Like, everybody who's blowing up on the internet is doing the things I'm constantly talking about. So they brought that unique value, and then what they did by doing these 2 things is they put themselves in a position to ride a trend when that trend blew up. And for PewDiePie, the trend was gaming on YouTube. He ended up taking off because he rode that trend. And then Ninja, for him, it was Fortnite. But because they both used these 2 content strategies that I've listed up top, the 80-20 rule, and bringing massive value out of those 5 values, new, best, unique, challenge, and learning, with every single piece of content they were producing, these 2 reached superstardom because they became the pinnacle of a mega trend. And so those 3 things combined are what create a mega star on the internet. Those 3 things combined create a gaming superstar. The 80-20 rule, the 5 content values, and then capitalizing on a mega super ultra trend on the internet. It's that simple. That's why Ninja and PewDiePie are successful. It's not because of Drake. It's not because of horror games. It's not because of clickbait. It's not because of all these little things that people identify along the way that are like, oh yeah, I can write off somebody's success by saying one thing. No, it's because of those brilliant strategic decisions by these individuals that allowed them to become mega super ultra stars on the internet. This is the tweet right here. Go ahead and like it. Go ahead and share it. Please help me get the word out about my live streams. This is an entirely word of mouth operation here to get the word out about this live stream. So please help me out. Share this tweet, share this live stream, help share this content. I haven't gotten a sponsor on Patreon here for like over a week. So help me get the word out to new people. I'd like to add some new names to the list over here so I can get some new people in here to do channel reviews through Patreon, and get some new people in here to do coaching and what have you to help. So help me grow this community, help share this thing. I want to get some new lists and some new dings up on the list right here so that we can help more creators succeed. Cool? Let's freaking go. Showtime, it's great to see you in chat as well. Anybody else who's in chat who hasn't spoken up, let me see it. Let's freaking go. Let's do it. Now, I have a question here from one of my $25 patrons, from Relia. Actually, Christoph Mueller has a question. Hopefully I didn't pronounce your last name badly. Hi, Awall, kind of want to see me play Star Wars Force Arena again, to be honest. I might play Star Wars Force Arena, I'm not sure. I'm pretty far behind in that game at this point, and I'm super, super competitive. I might consider it. I might install it on my iPhone and check it out again. I did kind of give up on Star Wars Force Arena, as you're aware, but I gave up on that game because I realized that Netmarble wasn't going to do any marketing for the game anymore, and so they weren't really going to be able to acquire that many new players, and so that kind of made me want to abandon the game. I don't know if that's changed recently. Let me know. I know it might be kind of fun to play with Gluten Slayer. That might be pretty fun, actually. Fellow YouTuber. Cool. So that was a half-hour explanation of how Ninja and how PewDiePie and how superstars are born on the internet. So I thought that this was a really interesting story to do. I did a decent amount of research on this, and I dove into it fairly deeply. And one thing that was really interesting was this website. I'll go ahead and post this here for you guys. But this shows the ranking of all athletes and their social media engagements with each other. And it really is interesting to see Ninja be higher ranked than virtually every other superstar athlete in the world. He's more culturally relevant than basically every athlete right now, other than Cristiano Ronaldo, which is pretty fascinating. It really is. Cool, so here's a question from one of my patrons. Once a video tapes live, do you have a step-by-step on how you promote it? Also, do you have an opinion on sites like Viral Chop, Trending, and Game Crawl? Is it worth posting your videos to those sites? So the question here is, how do you promote your content once you release your content to maximize your views? What is your step-by-step process to make that happen and to actually get traction? So first of all, first things first, any websites like Viral Chop and Trending and all of these aggregator websites, if any of those actually give you views, they're going to give you cheap temporary views. So I've seen aggregator websites like that pop up. I've seen them go away over time. I've seen various things happen with video aggregator sites. And here, I'll pull up one of them right now so everybody can kind of see what you're talking about. Let's take a look at Viral Chop. I stopped trying to use websites like that because a lot of the time they just kind of shut down and they aren't really very interesting anymore. Here they are. They're just aggregator websites. No thanks. They're just aggregator websites that pull videos from other sites and they will generate some traction for them. These aggregator sites, I generally recommend against these aggregator sites. I think that they may generate embedded views sometimes, and maybe your video will go viral on these sites, but generally these sites are going to reward content that is very, very clickbaity and that is very clickable and is very general audiences. And so if you're not making that kind of content, these kinds of websites may not help you. As you can see, this one is selling sex, this one is selling puppies, and these are selling amazing clickbaity things, and this one is selling shocking. So these are like just general viral kind of garbage that you're gonna see on the internet with highly clickable general audiences stuff. Basically, you're, sex, cute, and what? I mean, these are very, very traditional clickbait things that you're gonna see on these websites. So I don't generally think that websites like this help at all. I don't think that that should be a real part of your strategy. I think that there are two sites that will help you get traffic for your YouTube videos if you leverage them correctly and you build audiences on them. And site number one is the most useful site for all creators to promote their content. And that site is that site is Twitter, of course. So Twitter is the best resource possible to promote content as a YouTuber right now. Now, Twitter's organic reach is decreasing significantly over time, so keep that in mind. Like this post I just made, I linked to a YouTube video here, and I had this engaging image, and I have this extremely engaging post, but Twitter is not going to serve this post to that many people because it has a YouTube link in it. So posts like this are dying. Any post that actually has a link to a YouTube video in it is dead, basically. Like, they just don't do well unless you specifically ask your audience, like, I'll copy this link and I'll be like, look guys, can you guys share this link? It'll help me out, blah, blah, blah. And I'll link it in chat. Then maybe people will engage. But Twitter generally isn't going to reward this kind of post. So really the best promotional method, as I keep talking about, is using Twitter and cutting out a clip on Twitter, like this video I have right here, and this video clip under 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And then what you can do is embed the video into Twitter and then link to the full video here in the call to action bar above, and don't link to anything in the actual post. These kinds of video promotional posts do extremely well. I've got a more recent one that I did. As you can see, I post a lot of video on Twitter because it does very well on Twitter. But I did a native video post here. Here we go. Here's a native video post. Here's an example of the type of post that will grow and promote your videos on Twitter effectively. As you can see in the copy, in the body of this post, I have no links. There are no links here. So do not link to your YouTube video on Twitter. This is the #1 way to promote your video. Do not link your YouTube video in your post. Don't do it. It will nerf your post. Then post a clip from your video here. And then when you post a clip of your YouTube video, use Twitter Media Studio and link to watch now right here in the corner. Right here, you guys see where my mouse is up here, right? Yep, right up here in the corner. And that will, people click that, and then they'll go actually watch your video on YouTube, the full video right here. This generates a decent level of click-through. Twitter likes these kinds of posts, and this strategy works incredibly well. This is stop number one for every YouTube video that you post on your channel. I think that this is the best method to promote on Twitter. Hands down, it is the best method to pay $0 and to get maximum traction the right way. And here's another tip, and I think I've talked about this many times before, and then stopping by Reddit, basically, and going not to Red Dot, but to actual, not Red Doot, oh no. Oh no. Let's not go to Red Doot. We're not gonna do that. That could have been real tragic. And build your clout within a subreddit that is related to your niche. So let's say it's Call of Duty for you. You go to the Call of Duty subreddit. I've talked about this many, many times, but you go to these different subreddits. You do the 20-to-1 rule where you post 20 times a post of value. All right, and then you post one post after that, which is a post about yourself. And then you see how it goes. And if you're worried about that post about yourself, self-promotional post, a piece of your content, being on that subreddit 1 out of 20 times, contact the moderators of that subreddit and ask them what an acceptable way would be to post your content on their subreddit before you post, so that you can respect the rules of that particular subreddit. I've done a bunch of content on this. I've talked about this so many times, but that's how I now have 20,000 karma on Reddit. Is I provide value on Reddit, so much value, and then occasionally I promote my own content or things that I'm doing in my own initiatives on occasion. And when I do, it ends up blowing up pretty much every time I do it. For example, this recent Overwatch video, I promoted a video that we did on TGN. It got 5,000 upvotes on Reddit. And in the past, I've posted, there was a bunch of my personal content I was posting there on the Shadowgun Legends subreddit. And then there was an older TGN Reddit video TGN video I promoted on the Overwatch subreddit. 8,000 upvotes there. It ended up generating 1 million views for us. And let's see. Oh yeah. And then during Star Wars Battlefront fiasco, I ended up doing a lot of like posts then where I was just providing value to the community. I wasn't actually promoting myself. I wasn't promoting my own content. I was just speculating about EA's intentions with their game, and I ended up getting thousands of upvotes on those posts and providing value, right? So you can get a lot of karma just providing value to subreddits and understanding that community and providing like substantive posts, okay? And you can end up getting a lot of karma that way. And so it's not all about promotion, it's about adding value. And so if you go through my profile, which feel free to just take a look at my user profile. I'll link it to you guys right here if you want to study my strategy. Here's my Reddit profile. I mean, if you want to study it, it's fine. But I do mostly just replying to people or doing AMAs or just giving people information for free to help them out. That's namely my strategy on Reddit, so that when I post my videos or post someone else's videos that I want to promote on Reddit, it ends up punching through. There is a minimum threshold of karma that you have to have on Reddit in order to have your post punch through a lot of the time. And some subreddits use karma as a way to prevent spam posts on their subreddit. And so you need to rack up karma if you want to have any impact there. But those are the only two stops that I recommend for creators to promote their videos, Twitter and Reddit. Pretty much everywhere else that you want to promote your video is a complete waste of time. Relia started cutting up videos and posting them on Twitter per my recommendation. That's great, man. That's wonderful. Let's take a look at how you've implemented that. So Relia, if you guys are not already familiar, is actually I think you're on Twitter. You're like hell yeah or something like that. He's one of my $25 patrons, but that's great. Hengist is here. He says, do it the Instagram way. Link the video in your profile. I don't agree, Hengist. Unless you have a mega Instagram following, it's just not going to have any impact to put it in your profile unless you have a massive Instagram following. And generally, you don't want to push people off. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Relia, my patron. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody. Let's give him a round of applause. He just used the Twitter method. He used the Twitter method. He caught out a 22-second clip of his video and then posted it on Twitter, and then you can click this button and it'll take you to YouTube, and then you can watch the full video. Look at that. And the Twitter version of his video got more views than the YouTube version of his video. So he's using Twitter to effectively promote himself. He maybe even will get even more traction on Twitter than he will on YouTube. That's how effective Twitter promotion is. Well, yeah, I couldn't be more proud of you. That's my boy right there. That's my boy.
Who is your daddy?
I love this video, by the way. I think you got to keep this bit up and practice this bit of you wearing like the military outfits and playing Call of Duty.
Put the weapon down.
I love the bit, man. You just got to perfect it. You got to get the comedy down. You got to eliminate the cringe and get the comedy down, for sure. Anyway, there you go. It's working for you. Galaxy with the clap emojis. Yeah, 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 yeah. But yes, on Instagram, a lot of people will link in their bio. Let me pull up Alex Costa. He's a fantastic YouTuber who's got a huge Instagram following. And let's just take a look at what Alex Costa does on his avenues. So Alex Costa will, from time to time, link in his bio an actual video if he's promoting a video. But just generally speaking, he will only link his YouTube channel in his bio, not an actual video necessarily. So if he's looking to promote a specific video, he will. Otherwise, it's just a link to his YouTube channel. And the reason why is that the conversion rate of people clicking that link in your bio and just asking people to click link in bio on Instagram it's not good for Instagram. Just like every other platform, Instagram measures the amount of time that you spend looking at every post and reading through it. So it's in your best interest, for example, and Alex Costa knows this because he's the effing master of... He's so good, man. Costa's so good. I used to work with him. He used to work at Google. I worked with him for a while. He worked at YouTube. And he writes these longer posts. So you have to sit here and you look at his picture and you're like, that's a cool picture. Then he writes these longer posts. You have to sit here and read this entire post. And then you like or whatever. But he designs his posts so you have longer hang time along a lot of the time. And he designs his posts so you're not clicking off of Instagram. Instead, you're staying on Instagram. Look, he's linking to other people's Instagram accounts. And just like any other social media platform, including YouTube, if your strategy is to get people to click off of that platform and go to another platform, the platform is going to punish you. So keep people on the platform. That is the strategy. Keep them on the platform and you will grow on that platform. And so I would think about a platform like Instagram as being almost entirely separate from your YouTube channel, outside of like celebratory posts that you got 1 million subs maybe, and taking a picture with your play button on Instagram and maybe linking to it in your bio. It's easier to move people, I think, from your YouTube channel to your Instagram because you have more time to talk about things. See, notice how he has his Instagram linked up here in the top of his profile here. It's easier to talk about your Instagram and your YouTube video because you have more time to talk about it, and you have, you know, maybe a moment in the middle of your video when it's super engaged, and you can be like, yo, look at this hairstyle I have in my video here. If you want to see, check out my post on Instagram. I show, you know, the version where I have blue hair or whatever. And then Alex Costa could plug the fact that he has unique content on the other platform that you want to go check out. So it's better to go from YouTube to Instagram rather than Instagram to YouTube. But in either case, you want to keep people on the actual platform that they're on. Promotion between platforms is weak outside of Twitter and Reddit driving traffic to YouTube. Those two platforms are still very good for driving traffic to YouTube, so focus on those two platforms if you want to promote your YouTube channel, Twitter and Reddit. And I've got videos, if you guys haven't already watched them, on my YouTube channel with full tutorials on how to properly use Twitter and Reddit to grow your YouTube channel. Cool? Excellent. So let me go ahead and link those to you here. Here, I'll just link you the playlist here. This playlist right here. Actually, I'll just copy the link. Here you go. Here's my video on how to properly run a Reddit strategy to grow your YouTube channel. I have multiple times gotten hundreds of thousands of views and millions of views off of Reddit. And here's the one on Twitter strategy, if you guys want to check those out. Those are free for you to view. Free resource for you guys to use those social media avenues to grow your YouTube channel. Cool? Beautiful. Excellent. Henga says, Awall, if you don't think this method works, then you need to post more ass pics. You're totally right. If I had like the perfect butt and then I just stamped the URL of, now this is a strategy I didn't talk about earlier, but you're right. If I had the perfect butt and I stamped the URL of my YouTube channel on my booty and put that in all my photos, of course that would work. Okay, maybe I should make a video about that. Hengist, maybe we should collab and make a video about that strategy, and you should take pictures of your butt and put your YouTube channel URL on there, and then we'll experiment and measure the numbers and look at the analytics. Cool. Anyway, Relia has updated his banner. Hengist, you're crazy, dude. I saw you making new content on your channel, by the way, Hengist. I like this new thoughtful content you're making. Relia. Let's take a look at Relia's new banner. Only works on Instagram to post butt pics. I'm pretty sure butt pics work everywhere. Pretty sure. Relia's new banner. Oh, this is your new banner? I thought this was your old banner. Is this new? Please confirm, Relia. I've seen this banner a couple times. Or do I need to clear my cache to see your new banner? I could have swore this was up there for a while. You've been told you have an excellent butt. Thank you, Hengist. That's great. If you have any questions about your channel, Hengist, let me know, amigo. But anyway, that was the question from Relia. Yes, indeed. So, we've got another question from Relia here that he posted in my Discord. So let me go ahead. Yeah, we have a few minutes remaining. We can talk about this question. He's talking about collabs. And can I show examples of collabs done well? And he's saying, do you have some ideas of what kind of collabs can be done around gaming? And is it better to have someone join your stream or to go on someone else's live stream? How do I add friends via webcam for my stream for multicam? So this is a lot of, your Instagram banner now matches your YouTube banner. Huh? Instagram banner? Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. You mean Twitter? I've never seen your, oh yeah, your Instagram. I guess I did check out your Instagram. Your Twitter banner definitely matches too. But let's answer this question about collabs. So, can I show an example of a collab done well? Yes, I can. So let me show you some of the best in the game at doing regular collabs. In fact, you know what? I won't show Typical Gamer because I always show you guys Typical Gamer. Let me show you Dr. Disrespect and some collabs that he does and some of his methods of collaborating with others. So let me go ahead and find a fun one for you. And he collabs with other streamers all the time. And so what he will do after he does the collab on Twitch, so basically the other creator will be streaming on their avenue simultaneously while he's streaming on his. This is a standard thing that Twitch streamers do. And they'll all be live on their own avenues, but they'll be on voice comms with each other. And they don't need to show each other's webcams, they just need to go ahead and play with each other. And then afterwards though, and the reason why I want to show this to you afterwards, after the stream, Dr. Disrespect's editing team ends up taking footage from the other streams and from the other streamers and ends up making this montage video of Doctor's disrespect highlights, and then it cuts to highlights of the other people, as you can see here. These are some of the other streamers that he's working with here that were playing with him to create a complete story. This is something that we did with TGN for a long time, and Hengist is in chat. He would edit some of these. It's a format that we came up with a long time that we called Squadron Prime. It's a very similar format. We've done this format for years. And so you just have a group of people play together, you cut between each of their perspectives, you tell a complete story about gameplay through that. But this is sort of the next evolution of that, because they're live streaming and then cutting together the stream highlights afterwards. So they're making all of that live stream money. They're cross-promoting each other throughout the entire live stream on Twitch, and then this gets posted on YouTube later to maximize the cross-promotion of the personalities on YouTube. So I think that this is kind of the epitome of a gaming collaboration now. I would recommend, if you and the other gaming creator live stream, I would recommend that you guys stream simultaneously and that you just stay on voice comms, and then you edit a highlight video later to post on one of your channels. Then stream together again, and then edit a highlight video to post on the other person's channel. So then both channels, after doing 2 collaborations, have both a live stream collaboration on both channels, 2 live streaming collaborations on both channels, and then 1 video collaboration on each individual YouTube channel for each person. This is the ultimate cross promotion, and it allows the audience to have 2 unique experiences and 2 unique viewing opportunities to see the other person. And the reason why this is even more important today than it ever has been in the past is because YouTube will recommend videos based on how long those videos are. And so certain viewers, when they say sit down and go to the bathroom at work during the day, they maybe only have like 3 minutes to watch a video. And so YouTube is only going to suggest to them 3-minute or less longer videos or shorter videos. So your live stream probably won't be suggested to them during that time. So what you want to do on your channel is you want to produce content with varying lengths if you can help it. And so by having live content available on your channel in say the hour and a half mark, and also having shorter 5-minute or less, 3-minute or less content on your channel available, it allows the algorithm to have a wider amount of content that it can suggest. So what I'm saying is that the time variety on your channel is actually good now. Whereas in the past, having a wide variety of time on your channel was actually a bad thing. And that's because the YouTube algorithm, as you guys know, it's all about viewers, and it's all about audience, and it's all about chasing that viewer behavior on the platform. And so, if you can provide content of simple lengths, if you can, or I'm sorry, not of simple lengths, if you can provide content of various lengths, you can give yourself more opportunities, and you can give the YouTube algorithm more opportunities to suggest your content to people at different times during the day. Person on break at work, they're probably only going to want to watch your 5-minute video. When they go home and they sit down in front of their TV and maybe they turn on some YouTube videos or they Chromecast some YouTube videos, they maybe will want to watch some of your hour-long live streams, your hour-and-a-half long live streams, etc. So this is something that you guys should keep in mind, and it's okay to experiment with different time varieties. And so collabs can be a great way to do that. So that's the ultimate strategy, guys. The ultimate strategy goes like this. Are you ready? The ultimate strategy is like this. You do 2x streams, and you stream, this is the ultimate gaming collab. You stream on both of your avenues simultaneously, and then each one of you do a video on channel 1 after the first stream, and you do a video on channel 2 after the second stream, and there you go. And if you're streaming on Twitch, cool. If you're streaming on YouTube, that's also cool. But this way, you can reach the totality of your viewership and cross-promote the other person's avenue to the maximum extent because you're taking advantage of the time component of the YouTube algorithm with this collaboration strategy. Okay? I hope that answered your question. I think it's the most effective way to do collaborations. And Dr. Disrespect is doing great collaborations like this. As you can see from this example we're playing in the background here, and the edits are on point. And I would tell you to take some advice from one of the best in the game here, Dr. Disrespect. Testing out your Clash Bashing says you're testing out my change strategy on a video that underperformed this week with the thumbnail. Cool. Just make sure, Clash Bashing, when you're swapping out that thumbnail on your video and you're trying a new strategy. Let me turn off this Dr. Disrespect video since we're not talking about it anymore. Let's go to Clash Bashing's channel. Make sure that you give your video that you're swapping out the thumbnail on at least 4 days to cook before you get that click-through data, before you swap out that thumbnail, okay? So you need, before, like, so let's say your underperforming video was this one right here, with 12K views from a week ago. Make sure it's been at least 4 days before you even look at the data. Then after 4 days of data, and let's say the click-through rate is significantly lower on this particular piece of content right here, then only swap out the thumbnail, is what is the strategy that he's talking about. Only swap out the thumbnail, and do not, under any circumstances, swap out the metadata. Now, ultimately, the best time to swap out a thumbnail, guys, is at the 28-day mark. If you swap out a thumbnail early, it may be too early, to be honest. You know, the thing is, videos perform well outside of that initial golden window. The YouTube algorithm has changed. So the initial 24 to 48 hours doesn't actually represent the majority of the views that a lot of videos are getting on YouTube now. YouTube videos are now starting to get explosive views at the 128-day mark now, sometimes. So it's okay if your video underperforms to wait until 28 days later, actually, and then swap the thumbnail. It's okay to wait that long if you would like. It's fine. But I would do it right on the 28-day mark as the standard rule. If you have an itchy trigger finger and the video is just totally sucking and you just know that thumbnail is off and you've spent at least 4 days of looking at that YouTube Studio beta data, then go ahead and swap it out. 28 days seems like forever. I understand. I understand you got the itchy trigger finger and you want to fix your content, so I get it. But, you know, that would be my recommendation, is to wait 28 days as your standard rule. But look, I can't prevent you from having an itchy trigger finger and wanting to fix your video. So if it just has a completely stinky thumbnail, you just know it's a stinker and you just want to do it, then do it so that it's not bothering you. And here's where everybody needs to look to get this data, this data that he's talking about. So let me grab one of my videos. I'm going to show you the thumbnail swapping strategy so you guys are not totally lost on what we're talking about here. Oh, let me grab a video with an interesting bit of data in it. Here. There's one video I have with some really wacky data I'll pull up. It's like my one on YouTube hashtags, I think. Where is it? YouTube hashtags video, where'd you go? I should probably just search for it. Here it is. There we go. All right. So here's what we're talking about. So when you want to look and see whether you should swap your thumbnail on a video, here's where you're going to look. You're going to look at your Reach Viewers tab in YouTube Studio Beta. That's right up here. You're going to click the video like I just did. You're going to go to Reach Viewers tab in YouTube Studio Beta, and then you're going to scroll down and you're going to look at the Triangle of Destiny over here on the side. And where you're going to look right over here is this number right here. And that I just totally covered up. This number right here. And what that's going to tell you is your click-through rate on your video. As you guys know, your click-through rate is the most important statistic on YouTube. The higher your click-through rate, the better. And so, generally speaking, I'm going to encourage all of you guys to go, and this video has a 12.5% click-through rate, but I'm going to encourage all of you guys to shoot for a 10% click-through rate on your videos. This is what superstars like PewDiePie and the whole nine get. They have a super high click-through rate, way above 10%. That's how they're huge. Try to get above 10% as just your baseline. All right, and then go from there and constantly try to improve. So if your number is way below your average, let's say your average is above 10%, let's say your number is way below your average after 4 days, you can consider after 4 days, consider swapping out only your thumbnail. All right, but I recommend waiting 28 days. But if you want to do it after 4 days, you can. And the reason why I say 4 days is because you have to wait 4 days for the data to properly come in on your YouTube channel, on your click-through rate data and the whole nine. So wait at least 4 days. Then after, you know, even if you improve your click-through rate, which if you do improve your click-through rate, it will improve the performance of your video for sure. But the other critical statistic, of course, is improving your audience retention and eliminating, and I made a whole video about this, and I can link to the video, but basically eliminating the stuff that's happening in the valleys on your video and emphasizing more and more the things that are happening in the peaks and cutting your video off when you lose attention on your video. I made a whole video just about this. Let me go find it for you guys right now and I'll link it to you. It's like a 1-minute tutorial. If you follow this advice on improving your click-through rate and improving your audience retention, it's the #1 thing you can do to grow your YouTube channel and to blow up. It's really that simple. Cool, so here's the video on how to, here's the thumbnail swapping one. It's a thumbnail swapping video, just watch this video. It's only 1 minute and 41 seconds, okay? So that video is really easy to watch and understand. And then here's the one on how to improve your audience retention. This one is only 2 minutes and 31 seconds. And if you watch these videos and you do what I tell you to do on these videos, your channel will grow guaranteed. Like 100% guaranteed. This is not hacks. This is just using the data that YouTube gives you and effectively modifying your content and modifying your channel so that you get better performance. It's like that freaking simple, dude. Gluten Slayer says, can you sort by best CTR or something? That's a good question. What's up, Gluten Slayer? You know what? I did find a way to do that. So let me go ahead and find a way. There was a way to look at it. There was no way to here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. There's no way to master sort, to my knowledge, based on click-through rate right now. But that's a change that I think I will request. I agree. I would like to be able, if click-through rate and audience retention are the most important statistics, which they are, then I would like to be able to filter based on that, right? So, yeah. You can't do it. You cannot filter based on that. So that's a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and request that from Team YouTube, and feel free to tweet at Team YouTube to request that as well. But yeah, you cannot sort by that statistic specifically. You can only look at it, the overarching performance on your channel in those regards. Yeah, it is true. Yep. I wish you could, because then you could sort by which videos are getting the most clicks, which ones have the best audience retention, and then you could say, I should do more of those, right? So, there you go. Someone like TubeBuddy needs to surface the click-through rate data somewhere easier to digest. I agree. TubeBuddy's probably working on that, if I were to guess. Henga says, I have a super poor click-through rate right now because you have 30,000 gaming followers, and you're posting videos about gardening. That's probably not why you have a bad click-through rate. Like, YouTube will be able to identify really quickly that those are not gaming videos and probably won't serve it to your gaming followers at all. So I wouldn't blame your click-through rate, Hengist, on the fact that your followers are gaming. I would blame it on the fact that your thumbnails aren't very clickable and your titles aren't very clickable. Yikes. Don't blame your audience. You should be constantly doing A/B tests, and you should be constantly experimenting with new thumbnails. That should be what you should be focusing on, not blaming the fact that you have an audience for a different vertical. That's not why click-through rates are low generally. YouTube will just instantly, like, it'll do a little mini test with your gaming followers and then be like, oh, they don't like this. And then it'll try to serve it to other types of people other than them. So I I don't think you can narrow it down to that. No. Subscribers barely exist right now anyway. Cool. Guys, awkward. 1980s retro, super active in chat. It's good to see you. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to do it again. Thank you for listening to me rant about how gaming creators become superstars in the first 30 minutes of this video. And thank you to Relia for all of the superior questions. And if any of you want to become my patron or want to donate or what have you, I need to put more names on this list. I'd like to do more legendary channel reviews. I'd like to service more gamers and more creators. So feel free to check out my Patreon and all of the services I provide right here. I just dropped the link in chat. I've got a $5 level, $25 level, and a $150 level, depending on the level of service you'd like me to provide and how involved you'd like me to be in your channel. And I love doing it. I'm ready to help you guys. And of course, I'll give free advice in these live streams Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Cool? See you in the next one, guys. Thank you so much for coming to this one, and keep creating, amigos. Adios.